Well, welcome today. And Lou Torchia is joining us. Lou serves as the executive director and leader for the Combined Federal Campaign, the National Capillary Area, and is a true leader for everything we do at Global Impact. And Lou, you have such an amazing story that has an impact on all of us every day. We're so glad that you could join us to be able to share your story and talk a little bit about how you make a global impact.
Thanks, Scott, and definitely congratulations on the re-release of Take Me With You. It's a very compelling story, which we've talked about on many occasions, and so proud of you and so happy that you were able to do this again. My story really started, a few days after birth. I was adopted at 5 days old, and by a wonderful couple, two people that were so kind and so loving, and introduced me into a family that was so accepting. It really made the difference for me. Throughout the course of my life, I did a lot of volunteering, especially early on, mentoring as a big brother, big sister in my college years, and had a lot of great exposure to some really great leaders and mentors who had a community perspective and really stressed the importance of giving back. And one of them introduced me to one of the largest workplace giving campaigns in the world. And I had the opportunity to volunteer as a loaned executive to the Combined Federal Campaign. That was really my epiphany and my start on realizing, I was born to give back. That's what that adoption was all about. And, from the nurturing and the love and kindness of my parents and the family, and to the realization of visiting and seeing the great service that nonprofits provided throughout the world, I realized I was born to give back. It's really hard for one person to change the world, but changing the world for one person, that's something that everybody can do. And sometimes you really, this is your phrase, sometimes all somebody needs is a chance. And I received that chance right from the get-go.
Lou, that's so powerful. How has that sense of giving back affected your work today? To talk a little bit more about that. So it sounds like that's really been a driving principle for you personally and professionally.
Yeah, so after that epiphany, I was able to join a governing board and try to shape and enhance that Combined Federal Campaign, in a local area. Really encouraging not only charities to join and participate, but individual donors to realize that they too had the power to change lives, one person at a time. And ultimately, I was able to support two other governing boards and actually work on a federal commission for regulatory change, all the while working with amazing people, focusing on helping the world's most vulnerable, and really understanding that as individuals, as everyday philanthropists, which we like to use as a term, we really can change the world one person at a time. Today, my work continues to highlight local, national, and international charities to hundreds of thousands of potential donors annually. Professionally, the federal workplace giving, I've helped raise over $1 billion over the course of my career, and I'm very proud of that. But it's been one donor at a time, individual philanthropy, local, national, international opportunities. Each and every donor with that opportunity gets a chance to change someone's world. And that's really been what it's all about.
So Lou, you really modeled the fact that you were a federal employee with the Department of Defense, and you saw the campaign as an extension of your service. And now that you lead the campaign, you're able to help other federal employees see the campaign as an extension of their service, not only in terms of their giving, but also their time and talent. Is that right?
Absolutely. We stress not only giving financially, but giving of their time and volunteer efforts as well. And we really do that, tens of thousands of donors at a time each campaign year. It's so progressive and so worthwhile.
How did you continue that work over the past year during COVID, with everything being virtual and literally federal employees having to work from home?
By virtue of the virtuality, actually. So we recognized early on that the traditional in-person campaign, the in-person ask, wasn't really going to be available to us. So we pivoted early, finding new platforms and ways to bring our message across. We definitely enhanced social media and opportunities where we had charity events in person. They were now virtual. So we took great pride and great care to make sure that we were fair in highlighting charities and their messages and their missions, and still having potential donors have the opportunity to see where their money was going.
Did you find that in some cases that you were actually able to reach more federal employees and connect with them than you were even when everything was in person?
It was very hard to assess from our standpoint, but the feedback that we received from the charities that participated themselves told us that was the case. They were very happy with the virtual opportunities, and they felt that they were able to get to more individuals and get to more people that were interested in solely their mission and their responsibilities. So from that aspect, we got a lot of good feedback.
Lou, in watching you, one of the things that I am in such awe of is your ability to draw out the stories of all the people that you work with and have them really understand how those stories can help them serve others. How do you do that? How do you make your global impact, one person at a time, as well as raising millions of dollars for charities around the world?
Well, there's a couple of million federal employees out there in workplace giving, which is where my main responsibilities deal with. And there's a lot of stories out there. And what we try to really highlight is for individual agencies to get the stories from the people that work for them, so that they're more relevant and more encompassing for the attention of the employees in that particular agency. So as you know, once you tell your story, there's a lot of people that want to be able to tell theirs as well. So really the key is in storytelling, I think, is just sharing. So the more individuals hear about it, the more we're going to hear of their particular stories. Besides the professional aspect, and personally, I try to find ways to incorporate giving opportunities both through my work, my hobbies, life in general. I mean, I use our internal workplace giving platform, Grow Fund, which is also available to the public. That really allows me the freedom of choice to set aside funds and make meaningful grants, where and when I'm ready. And I make separate donations, to on a regular basis through my church. And I also give, during disasters and crises for those things that pop up throughout the year. But that's just a financial piece. I'm growing some individual philanthropists with the family. So as a family, we try to volunteer service projects where we can do things together. And really, with the pandemic over the last year or so, it was a little difficult, but we were able to find projects, with efforts like packing seeds for planting and sharing stories through artwork, where we learn together as a group as much as we share. So I think as long as we're growing individual philanthropists as well. So both professionally and personally.
Lou, one of the things I so admire about you is that whether you're talking with administration officials or agency leaders or charity leadership, or just individual federal employees, individual employees of Global Impact, just people on the street, there's no one, including me, that's not left in a better place every time they interact with Lou Torchia and with Lou Torchia's family. Can you give us any advice that you have for how do you bring that service, that sense of service to others? How do you bring that gift every day? And what advice do you have for the rest of us to try to model that?
So I have to go back to the way we started this interview, and that was my 5-day adoption. So my family taught me that, to be kind. I had one of the most generous mothers that one could ever have. And she really, taught me to be kind to people, to be generous, to be benevolent, and to respect. And if you keep that in mind, no matter who you're talking to, respect of life, respect of humankind is really something that if you take with you, you're not going to have, hopefully not going to have as many problems if you didn't use it without it.
Well, you are indeed making a global impact. I can't think of a greater role than the one that you play in harnessing literally millions of dollars and thousands of people every year. We can't thank you enough for running still the largest workplace giving campaign without a match in the world.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.